Welcome to this video, Rock Music Pioneers, the icons who shaped rock and roll. We celebrate the legendary artists who created the sound, spirit, and soul of rock and roll music. This video is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team, as part of their music studies program. We begin with Chapter 1, The Roots of Rock and Roll. Rock and roll emerged as a revolutionary musical fusion, combining rhythm and blues, gospel, and blues traditions. Early pioneers transformed these genres into a rebellious cultural force, often fighting for mainstream recognition due to segregation and Jim Crow laws. Muddy Waters, born McKinley Morganfield in 1913, is known as the father of modern Chicago blues. He electrified the blues and directly influenced artists like Eric Clapton, the Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin, setting the groundwork for modern rock guitar. Muddy Waters truly created the sound of the guitar that launched 1,000 bands. Lead Belly, the king of the 12-string guitar, recorded over 500 songs, transforming American folk and blues. His powerful storytelling and distinctive style influenced artists from Bob Dylan to Nirvana, bridging folk and blues to rock and roll. Sister Rosetta Tharpe is known as the godmother of rock and roll. As a gospel singer, she pioneered the use of the electric guitar in mainstream music. Her powerful vocals and guitar riffs directly inspired Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Elvis Presley. Next we move to Chapter 2, The Architects of Rock and Roll, examining those who formalized the sound. Chuck Berry is often called the complete rock and roller. Born in 1926, he blended blues, country, and jazz. He invented the iconic duck walk and created timeless hits, combining vivid storytelling with rhythmic precision that spoke to youth culture. Chuck Berry's musical innovations include creating guitar solos based on piano riffs, forming rock's blueprint. He was a complete artist, writing his own material and overcoming racial barriers with the help of champions like DJ Alan Freed. Chuck Berry is undeniably recognized as the father of rock guitar. Fats Domino, the New Orleans piano pioneer, was the ambassador of New Orleans music to the world. He blended swing, boogie-woogie, and rockabilly. His 1949 hit, The Fat Man, became the first million-selling rock record, establishing his chart-topping legacy. Fats Domino sold over 110 million records and dominated the charts throughout the 50s and 60s. His rolling piano style shaped early rock. Elvis Presley himself acknowledged Domino's foundational role as, quote, the real king of rock and roll. Little Richard was the flamboyant trailblazer who defined rock's wild stage presence and uninhibited vocal style. His unforgettable hits like Tutti Frutti became instant classics, directly inspiring Jimi Hendrix and future generations with his fearless self-expression. Little Richard's legacy includes pioneering the use of theatrical lighting in rock shows and breaking gender and racial norms with his flamboyant style. His screaming, uninhibited vocals remain the blueprint for rock energy and expression. Little Richard is the architect of rock's theatrics. Bo Diddley is the originator of the beat. Ellis McDaniel created the Bo Diddley beat, a syncopated, shaking rhythm pattern that became foundational to rock, hip-hop, and pop music. His influence extends to Buddy Holly, the Rolling Stones, and beyond. We now explore Chapter 3, The Cultural Revolution, focusing on the social impact of this music. Black artists faced immense barriers in a segregated America due to the Jim Crow era and limited radio play. The cover culture meant white artists often gained fame from their material. Despite this, champion DJs and continued artistry helped drive slow but sure recognition. During the Civil Rights era, rock and roll served as a soundtrack for change, challenging racial norms simply by existing. The music helped integrate audiences and inspired a youth rebellion against outdated social structures and prejudices. The British invasion bands stood on the shoulders of giants. The Beatles and Rolling Stones openly credited these pioneers as their heroes. They helped bring American black music back to American audiences, finally achieving deserved recognition for the originators. They are, truly, standing on the shoulders of giants. Ruth Brown, the queen of R&B, was Atlantic Records' first major star. Her powerful vocal style influenced both rock and soul singers. Later, she became a tireless advocate for artists' rights and fair royalties, helping establish the R&B foundation. Our final section covers Chapter 4, Enduring Legacy and Modern Influence. In 1986, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Little Richard, and James Brown were among the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's first inductees. This inaugural class provided historical recognition, acknowledging the Black pioneers' foundational role in rock history, setting a long overdue standard. Their music lives on as the foundation for countless modern genres, including classic and blues rock. Modern artists sample and cover their works, and continuous airplay ensures their sounds are discovered by new generations through streaming and film. The generational impact is clear. Jimi Hendrix built on Chuck Berry's innovations, and Prince drew from Little Richard's flamboyance. Contemporary artists like Beyoncé and Gary Clark Jr. continue the spirit of innovation and rebellion these pioneers embodied. The legacy continues, inspiring music across generations. The global impact of Black rock pioneers saw rock transform youth culture in Asia, Latin America, and Europe. Rock and roll became a worldwide phenomenon, helping break down racial and cultural barriers through the universal language of music. Many pioneers were underappreciated during their lifetimes. However, recent decades have seen renewed interest, with preservation efforts ensuring their stories are told. History is slowly correcting itself to give these artists their rightful place. They faced immense challenges, including systemic racism, legal troubles due to discriminatory enforcement, and industry exploitation. Despite these obstacles, their artistic contributions were never diminished, creating timeless music that transcended every barrier. These pioneers created the DNA of rock music, from electrifying blues riffs to explosive performances. Their music captured the hopes and raw energy of a generation hungry for change, and every element of rock today echoes their innovations. They truly are the originals who changed music forever. In final reflection, we honor the true fathers and mothers of rock. Their innovation, courage, and artistry paved the way for all music that followed. Without these Black pioneers, rock and roll as we know it simply would not exist. Thank you for watching. We encourage you to keep the music alive by celebrating its origins. Listen, learn, and celebrate their legacy. Rock and roll is a movement born from resilience and creativity.